Hi, welcome to SBRtv. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our football opener show that we've been doing all football season with John Ryan. Right now we're going to look at the Super Bowl. It's actually Wednesday because John Ryan's been sick, so we didn't get to look at the opening lines, but we are going to discuss the openers with John Ryan and see what he might have to say about any value with a side. We'll talk about the Super Bowl in general and props. John, thanks for being here one final time for football season 2011-2012.
It's been a pleasure, Peter.
Yeah.
I appreciate doing this, and I know it's a shame it's the last game that we have to talk about, but I guess we'll have other things to talk about with NBA and other sports coming up, and especially baseball.
So, John, this line opened, it actually opened at 3.5. And anytime like a Super Bowl line is going to opens at 3.5 or 6.5 or something like that, you know the sharps are going to pound the side towards the key number. Now it's down to 3. You know, the every Super Bowl, the underdog money line gets hit pretty early, and that did happen here. So I'm looking at this right now. It's the Giants +3, heavily juiced. The Pats are about a -138, -140 money line. I don't see those lines moving much at all by kickoff.
I agree with you. I think you could see a 2.5 pop up some places. I think there's enough public sentiment going on. For example, I'm hearing a lot of news, and it's being written in the papers too, that why are the Giants even a dog?
Right. Yeah.
They're making a comparison to the Packers last year that regular season record doesn't matter. They're the hot team, and I think the public thinks this game should be more of a pick 'em.
Well, and that's what I was wondering. They could have opened it at Pick'em probably. I wonder if they would have gotten a lot of Pats. Although I did talk to Doc, and he said that a bunch of the really sharp guys in Vegas say that New England should actually be about -150 or -155 here. So, maybe. I mean, there's the standard betting action that you see on the Super Bowl every year that the sharps do take advantage of. But maybe this is one of the cases where, even at the closing line, there might be some value. Do you think this line should be Pick'em and the Giants, even at +115 or +20, have a little bit of value? What do you think?
I tell you, I still think New England is the better team. And I'm kind of puzzled why everybody is jumping on this Giant bandwagon. I understand why they are, because they're hot, they're winning. Manning's thrown 300 yards 3 of the last 4 games. I get all that. So I'm not surprised that the public is on the Giants, but I think the line is correct.
Well, I mean, I guess people are just, they have the first Super Bowl matchup between these two guys, these two teams in their head, and I guess when they look at the playoffs, maybe they're looking at the Giants as having really proved themselves and been tested, whereas the Pats, played Denver, who, a lot of people actually say was just like a fluke and shouldn't have been a playoff team at all, and then they almost lost to Baltimore. So I guess that's what people are seeing.
Well, I agree with that. New England has beaten one team with a winning record. It's been beaten down this week quite a bit. The first meeting between the Giants and New England, Hicks was not in the lineup for the Giants, and Manning still was able to, come away with a win, and he scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. It's the secondary of New England that concerns me and probably everybody else. You basically have practice squad players back there. And, I mean, I'm not kidding about that. They really were on the practice squad at one point in their careers. And you have a converted wide receiver that's now playing defensive back. But I think the key to this game is how much do you think New England will be successful running the ball?
All right. Well, yeah, as I said, the Sharps pounded the Giants on the opening line. And then when I've talked to Doc and a bunch of other bookmakers, they've gotten overwhelmingly one-sided action on the Giants, and they're just resigned to the fact that they're going to need the Pats to win this one, or they're going to lose money on at least this side. What do you think about the spread? The total. No one's really mentioned that. It hasn't really budged too much. 55, kind of a high total. You think that's right on? Do you think there might be? You have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I would have to agree with the 55, and it is perfectly equal in terms of the betting flows I've seen at the 12 different places I look. There's equal action on both sides.
Do you have anything to say about props so far? As everyone knows with the Super Bowl, just in case people watching this aren't aware, Super Bowl props are very well known to have a ton of value, and professional prop bettors sometimes have literally their entire bankrolls wrapped up in Super Bowl props, taking advantage of all the opportunities that there are. The one thing that everyone's always very careful of, the professional prop bettors are careful of, is having too many correlated props, and a lot of the props that have value can be correlated. Any defensive prop is going to be partially correlated with any other defensive prop, and offensive props are correlated with each other as well. But are there any individual props that you think might have some value?
I haven't seen the odds yet, Peter, but again, based on my theme of believing that New England's going to run the ball. I think any bet, a proposition bet involving an individual player running the ball for New England, or if there's a prop where New England will outrush the Giants, for example, I think any theme along those lines could be a successful opportunity. I usually like playing the field goals. I like playing over the posted total of field goals. I think I've done it 7 years in a row.
All right, I guess before I let you go, can I get an official pick on the side?
I'm leaning towards New England right now. I have not run the simulator, so I would encourage everybody that's listening to this, make sure you hit the thread before making any bet if you're gonna tail me. The season was successful on the thread. We ended up below 60%, which was our goal. Right. We were still substantially above 50, and everybody that tailed me seems to be thankful that they did. So I don't always put out a play on the Super Bowl, but I will have one this year for sure. And it's certainly leaning towards New England right now, but I just have to complete the research before we do that.
All right, John, thanks so much. We will see how this turns out, and I'll talk to you real soon.
You got it. Thanks for a good year, Peter.
Thank you, too.